Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Picnic Table Chat Show. This is season 4, episode 9, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think it's number 9. I apologise for the 1 or 2 minute lateness on starting. I was just in the middle of doing a million things. You know what it's like sometimes. Welcome back to another episode. And tonight we're going to have a brilliant episode. I'm going to tell you about the giveaway that we've got going on and talk about a few other things that have happened. It's been quite a fantastic week for us. But first, I'm going to just talk to you about what I've been up to today. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes, let a few more people enter the stream. But in that time, I've got an interesting story for you. So I went out today. I took the kids out from like 9:30 this morning. We went out for a long walk. Now, if you know anything about me, I live on this little island called Portland. It's a beautiful little island just off the bottom of Dorset, at the very south of the UK. Absolutely stunning, great like walk around location. So we walked all the way around the island pretty much to areas that we haven't really gone to before. So it was really nice. It's been boiling hot, as anyone knows, stupidly hot today. So yeah, it was just a nice day out. We took a picnic with us. We had a picnic at the very top at some like old medieval windmills that we've never been to before. I knew they were there, but I've never actually been to before. So we went up there and explored that. That was really great. And then we walked into Pennsylvania Castle, which is like sort of a modern day castle, not a nautical castle, you know. And past some pirate graveyard. Now, the pirate graveyard, I don't know if they're real pirates, but they were smugglers and plague victims and stuff like that. And the tombs and the stones actually have the skull and crossbones on them. Now, that makes you think pirates, but I believe actually the skull and crossbones symbol on a gravestone means they're a plague victim. I might be wrong yet again, but that's just something that I think I've heard. So yeah, I did that, and then we walked past Rufus Castle, which is the old medieval sort of, I think it's the oldest castle on Portland. Very old, very cool again. And then we walked back. Now, walking back home, we walked sort of the long way back that we've never been before. Now, bear in mind, our daughter is in her wheelchair. It's quite a long way for us to push her anyways. It was quite hard work. There was about 1,000,000 steps up this tiny little cliff path, like cliff on one edge, grass verge on the other, sort of pushing you towards it. It was not easy and not fun, but we managed it. But so yeah, if you ever fancy a nice day out in Dorset, come to Portland. You're more than welcome to come see my ant collection. And yeah, there's some really nice beauty spots in Portland. But let's get on with the giveaway. I've chatted for long enough to start with. So the giveaway is very simple. Very, very simple. It's a £25 voucher currently on the Ants on a Rock shop. That's our shop, my shop, this shop. £25 voucher. And all you've got to do to enter, it's as easy as this. I did post about it on Facebook, so you might have already seen, is buy a ticket to the Great Ant Exhibition. Now, if you buy a ticket, your name instantly gets put into a hat. That's going to be, or a duck race or something like that. That's going to be drawn on the 1st of August, I think it was. Yeah, that sounds about right. It falls in line with one of these streams. So, I've got it in front of me somewhere. But yeah, so that will be drawn, £25 voucher. Like I say, all you got to do is buy your ticket to Great Ant Exhibition. Now, use the discount code on your ticket. That brings the ticket price down from £15 to just £10. So £10 ticket, you get to come to the exhibition and you've got a chance of winning a £25 voucher. Not a bad deal, if I do say so myself. Talking about the exhibition, I am going to be doing an on the 1st of August. That's it. I'm going to be doing a next big update on the 1st of August, and it will have the full list of all the events, all the guest speakers, so on and so forth. So if you're waiting for further details, even though there's loads of vendors and stuff confirmed and details on the website already, check it out if you haven't seen it already, because it's a brilliant looking list. The next list will be coming out on the 1st with all the rest added to it, basically. There's quite a few more things to add. And talking about if anyone fancies coming to Portland or Dorset, actually, we're going to be running loads of workshops and stuff. And we're also going to be doing like turning up at 3 events. So we're actually going to be at Portland Market at one day in like a little marquee setup. And we're going to be taking our workshop animals, so our tarantula, the mantis, some ants, a few things like that. So you're more than welcome to come find us at one of our 3 events that we're going to be at. It's great fun. And like I say, have a nice day out on Portland as well. I wouldn't recommend coming here in winter time though. Winter really sucks living on this island. Like the whole house shakes in the wind. But that's another story for another day. I need to change the banner, don't I? Hang on, there we go. There's the better banner. That tells you all about the Great Ant Exhibition. So you can find it on the website. You can find the discount code, which is right there on the screen coming up along it now. Summer Loving 133. I don't know why I chose that, but I did. It's summer. Let's love it. I don't know, but you get £5 off your tickets. It's going to be brilliant. So yeah, don't miss out. Don't know what else to say about that one, but yeah, if you get a ticket, paid tickets, £25 voucher, you could win. I know a couple of the vendors are giving away free tickets as well. If you're looking for a free ticket, look for the vendor list, go find them on Facebook, give them a follow and whatnot, because it's likely they've got a couple of tickets that they might be giving away as well. Just an easy way to get some cheap tickets. But I will make it clear, free tickets, if you win them in a giveaway, are not eligible for the free gift. No, if you win it in their giveaways, you can get the free gift because they're still classed as paid tickets technically. But if I give you a ticket, you probably won't get a free gift. I need to look that up. I've got it written down somewhere. I'm just watching these beetles smashing down the waxworms with the ants. There's a lot of ants on the screen tonight, isn't there? Has anyone noticed that? Awesome. But anyways, whilst we're here, I want to give a massive welcome back to our moderator, Dino. He's not even in the chat right now, but I want to welcome back Dino. He's an absolute legend, and he's been our moderator since basically the start. Really great guy. He took a little bit of time off because he's done so much great work for us. You know, he needed a little bit of break. He's come back super strong, super excited to join in with being involved in stuff. You know what I do? My staff, I work them hard. Like they yeah, Dino, exactly. We love Dino. He's awesome. He had a bit of time off, but he's going to come back. He's going to work just as hard, if not harder, for us, helping us do things behind the scenes. You know what we do. But yeah, I must say, a massive welcome back to Dino because I enjoy having Dino back. As much as I love everyone in the community, don't get me wrong, my God. But we did miss our Dino, didn't we? Yeah, and Stein. I mean, Stein's all over the place. I still see Stein commenting and everything. Like he does a lot of great work as well. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to miss out any of my staff. You know, I've got quite a few members of staff which work with me in multitudes of different ways. Stein is our moderator on Discord mainly, whereas Dino kind of does a little bit on Discord, but he tends to moderate these streams a bit more. And he does a few other things behind the scene. And also we've got Katrina as a moderator on here, and Ted when he's about, and a few other people. J-Man does Twitch. I'm not going to go through the whole list. I've got loads of people on. I'm on so many different platforms now. I've got kind of a helper on every platform, and I think that like I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them because they help me manage my workload. Even though I'm really bad at what's the word? Really bad at giving people work. Not yeah, Katrina. You don't need too much yet. Like, luckily, our streams aren't too bad. Yeah, our community is amazing. Quite frankly, we're doing about that, but it's always nice to have a moderator here. And between you, Dean, and Ted, someone's always going to be, aren't you? That's the hope. That's completely fine, Katrina. Everyone's got their own stuff going on. You don't have to pay me attention. I am a grown man, but everyone's got their own stuff going on. So I have actually sent some apology messages lately because they've been like lost, if you know what I mean. I get so many messages and I'm sending so many emails and stuff. A couple of people's messages I looked at, but I didn't get around to messaging them back. And by the time I thought about it, they're like 100 messages into the list, if you know what I mean. So I did send a couple of apology messages lately because I never want to miss talking to anyone. You know, I will spare anyone I can 10 minutes, half an hour, even 2-3 hours of chatting. We could chat all day and all night if you want. I'll never miss a message if I can. But sometimes I do, and I hate myself for it. Thank you very much. Ecosphere was sort of like on a whim, if you know what I mean. I've got 2 of those big jugs. I was so lucky. I just come across them. Let's put it like that. And it was brilliant. The kids wanted to go to the beach, and to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of sandy beaches, and neither is my eldest daughter. She absolutely despises sandy beaches. So we went and took the family to the sandy beach, and then me and the eldest went over to like the water jetty bit where the boats go in, and then we decided to film it there, basically, just to the side of the water jetty. And that was a bit more pebbly, and she enjoyed that, and she felt involved because she helped me film it, which was really nice. Because my eldest, Kayla, she's got she wants to be a YouTuber, but she's really shy. Really shy. She doesn't really like being on camera much and things like that. It takes a little bit of time to come out of her shell. As you know from listening to her microphone a few times, she is a very shy girl. And what she's really into is art and things like that. So getting her involved in like the production side of it, I think she really enjoyed that because she makes like gacha videos. If anyone knows what gacha videos is, they're like little cartoons that move and stuff. She loves doing stuff like that. So I've showed her my editing software. Now, getting her involved in the filming process as well, I think she really enjoyed that. And it was a nice day out, nice little trip. The ecosphere itself, awesome. I need to actually talk about that instead of just a trip out, I suppose. But yeah, absolutely awesome. I've got a couple of snails in there. Now, I might be wrong about the species, and I believe it's pronounced Trocus. I might be wrong, but they might be turbo snails. The way you tell is the Trocus snails are black-headed and turbo snails are white-headed. Now, it's really hard to tell, but you can see the footage. I think they've got black heads, which makes me think Trocus snails. Now, they're both, either way, they're both pretty much the same. They just live in like seawater, a bit of algae. They eat the algae. They're not really protein eaters. You don't need to feed anything into it. It's completely self-contained ecosphere. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've got it on my shelf at the minute. It's all completely settled now. It looks really cool because I'll do an update on TikTok soon. Some of the seaweed kind of goes up from like a stem in the bottom, and so it's like, oh, it looks so cool. Yeah, really, really interesting. And I'm sure there's quite a bit of life in there. Actually, looking in, you can see a few little bits moving about, and as it like grows and develops, they'll grow and develop in size, so it get even more interesting. But I probably will, like I say, release it in a few months time, 6 months or so, back into the ocean where I found it, just because I'm not a massive fan of taking things from the wild, if you know what I mean. Even though some of the places I buy stuff from have probably just gone and got it from the wild. I'm not a massive fan of it. I mean, nuptial flights is another matter. Don't get me wrong, but generally speaking, like going down and taking out a fish to bring home, I don't know if I could do that because it's used to living in the sea. You know what I mean? I'd prefer a couple of generations of captivity, I suppose. But with ants, obviously, that's different. Nuptial flights and everything. We know how it works as ant keepers. It's completely different. Go and catch as many queens as you want, which brings us on to the next subject we're going to talk about. Oh my God, it's happened. We need to celebrate. Have I got a celebration noise? I don't. How rubbish is that? I need like a big clap and da 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 da, trumpets, banners, and oh, I can't. You know what I mean? It's nuptial flight. Oh my God, it's actually happened on Portland. Now, I've been watching for a few days now. Everyone's sort of been getting it all over the country. And I'm like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. I've been running up and down the road, looking at the floor. Everyone's looking at me like I'm a madman because I'm literally running while staring at the floor, like crawling back up the floor. Yeah, it's just been ridiculous. But today it happened. So we got back from our long old walk around the island. They say we left at about 9:30. We got back about 3:30, and it was just starting. Like they were just starting to take off at that time, and it was amazing. So I took my daughter out, and she got herself a couple, and I even got a couple as well, just for a bit of fun. But yeah, I absolutely love this time of year. It's such a magical time. If you're an ant keeper and you're into this sort of thing, it's just a magical time, isn't it? And I've told everybody in my local area if they need any help and want to catch themselves a queen, give me a message. I'll come out and show you what you need to do. I'll help set up the test tube and so on. And yeah, it's been good. And I've talked to what species. I've got 1 flathus and 2 nigers. Now, I tell you one thing, right? And I got the 2 Niger colonies. I think my big Niger colony is dying out. Now, I've recently had a little bit of a shift around in the ant corner. Some of them have been moved about. And it's really upset me because they were doing so well, weren't they? Really, really well for a first-year colony. And now into the second year as such. But I noticed there was no eggs or pupa or larvae anywhere in any of the chambers. Now, this is a T-shaped formicarium where they dig their own chambers. You can see it, and there was nothing. And there was less ants than there used to be, a lot less. Now, I peeled back the red film. I couldn't see the queen anywhere, which is quite concerning. There's less ants, no eggs, and I can't see the queen. So I have a feeling they might be on their way out, which, like I said, is really upsetting, a real shame. So I've got myself a couple of Niger colonies in the hopes that I can replace that colony. Because actually, it's not even my colony. It is technically my daughter's colony, Amy. She's going to be devastated when she finds out. Obviously, I'm not telling her. She's probably watching the stream. Oh, my God. Oh, she's just found out like that. But anyways, yeah, so like I say, I look after it, but it is technically her colony. But yeah, real shame. So hopefully we'll replace them with one of the ones we caught. And Amy, she caught I think 2 Nigers and 2 flathus. See, we've got a massive flathus nest out the back of our house in the back garden, and loads of Niger nests everywhere else. So we literally just went straight into the back garden for the flathus. It was like I moved a power bag, right? Because I keep a lot of my gym equipment outside. I moved one of my power bags, and there was just tunnels everywhere. And it was like, wow. So they're nuts. Like they were just everywhere. But obviously, I didn't go for the ones coming out of the tunnel, but there was just ants everywhere this afternoon. It was brilliant. Absolutely amazing time. It was a really nice time out with Amy as well. She really enjoyed doing it. A great piece of experience for any ant keeper, you know. I'm just going to go over the giveaway once more. I'll probably do this a couple of times during the stream just to make sure everyone hears it. All you have to do to enter is buy a ticket to the Great Ant Exhibition. The prize is a £25 voucher on the Ants on the Rock shop. at this point, it might still, like, we might add more prizes and do a couple of different winners, like 2 or 3 winners. We'll see. We'll see. But at this point, all you got to do is buy that ticket and you'll get straight into the draw. And obviously, the tickets, all the information's in front of you. Go on the website. They're £15 a ticket, but use the discount code that's rolling across the bottom of the screen and you get £5 off. So it's just £10 a ticket. You get to come to the Great Ant exhibition, which is going to be absolutely amazing day. And you get entered into a draw for at least a £25 voucher. Let's say, not a bad deal, really. And if you like gambling, that's pretty good odds. Or increase. Well, what do you call it? Pretty good multiplication? Is that? I don't know. I don't gamble. Can you tell? How quick do the pharaoh ants grow? Pretty quickly. If you feed them regularly and keep them at the right temperatures and everything, fairly quickly. Now, bear in mind, these are one of the most invasive ants. You know, Monomorium, in my opinion, apart from obviously fire ants in Geminata and Invicta, you know. So apart from Solenopsis, I would say Monomorium are the most invasive species or genus in the world. So yeah, they grow very fast. Be careful. Be up to date on your barrier all the time. Don't overdo your barrier, right? Because they are very, very small and they will get stuck and drown in the slightest bit of drip or residue that's like kind of too much, if you know what I mean. So you've got to be careful with your barrier. Kind of apply it lightly but often and make sure it's there. I like to do quite a thick barrier as well, about an inch or so, just because if you start to come through, you've got that little bit more time, hopefully. But they are a great species. I love all the Monomoriums. I've got the pharaohs, the Chinese, and the floricolor. And they're all absolutely awesome, brilliant, amazing little ants, but they are super tiny as well. So if you like super tiny ants, yeah, go for it. But I wouldn't, if you don't like tiny ants, definitely, you know, not the ants for you. But yeah, stunning, awesome ants, grow really fast. They inbreed as well. Someone's just up on the hill taking pictures of the sunset. So I'm guessing we've got a beautiful sunset on there. The sunset around Portland is absolutely stunning. Obviously, over Chesil Beach is where the sun goes down and you can't get a better view. You can literally see we've got ocean on either side of the causeway, which just leads onto all the hills, and it's beautiful. Absolutely fun. I mean, if you've seen on my TikTok, I do release videos regularly of like the scenery and stuff. You could probably imagine what it's like at sunset. Even at nighttime, it's beautiful. And when they do the fireworks, it's really cool because they do them in the harbour. Oh, good eve. I nearly said afternoon. Good evening, Lisa. You all right, buddy? Haven't seen or spoken to you for a little while. You got Floricolor colony not too long ago, but sadly only 3 queens and 1 worker survived. Oh no. How are they doing now? I mean, 3 queens is more than enough to kickstart the colony. I mean, a 3 queen colony can easily turn into 50 queens in, 6 months or so, even less than 6 months if you really go for it. Excuse my bad cough. Whilst we're on the sort of subject of going out and heat and everything, I want to. I am as red as a lobster right now. I'm not showing myself on screen. I'm going to get a haircut. I was going to get it today, but I've just been too busy. What was I saying? But yeah, I'm as red as a lobster. So if you're going out, wear sun cream, right? Try and stick to the shade, but also make sure all your ants have lots of water. Now, I know that sounds stupid, and I know we're all going to make sure they've got water, but make sure they've got extra water because it is bloody hot at the minute. And if the nest area dries out, they will go and get water and take that back to the nest and keep the brood hydrated that way. So it's not just for them to drink. They actually can keep things hydrated just by supplying them with enough test tubes of water. So that's my advice. In this hot weather, make sure there's 2 or 3 water supplies in your tanks, especially for the larger colonies. You know what I mean? Good evening, Ants and Pets. Thank you for joining. It's very kind of you to come. Like Reese, you've got no brood. You've not checked on them for ages, so you're not sure, but they have no brood. Okay. The problem is you've only got one worker and they're not going to be coming out to feed themselves. That is the issue. I would, if they're not in a test tube, obviously test tube them, put in a bit of, I would treat them like a founding colony, a failed founding colony. Ignore the one worker, feed them in the test tube just like a cricket leg or something. Do the same with a bit of honey or snaps or whatever, and then wrap them up, put them into a shelf, leave them for, like you say, 8 weeks to 12 weeks sort of time, and then check and see what they've done, because they're either going to explode in numbers or pretty much die and give up. So that would be my advice on that. But obviously you might have better thoughts. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's what I would say. We've gone up to 9 viewers at the moment. Who fancies a duck race? 10 viewers at the moment. Who fancies a duck race? And then I suppose I will talk about the giveaway once more before I go into the next subject. I want to make sure that everyone that's signing in is going to hear about this giveaway. I will be doing a video about it as well. So feel free to share that video. It would be amazing. In fact, feel free to share the video about the Great Ant exhibition itself. I did a video middle of this week just sort of explaining what's going on and showing off the list and things like that. So feel free to share that video. It would be really appreciated. Anyone that does share it, absolutely awesome of you. Obviously, I just want to get the word out to as far and wide as we can. So yeah, we're going to have a duck race now. Let's do this. It'll probably start lagging because we know what duck races do to the stream. But we're going to go for it. We've got 8 people in the chat right now. Yeah, let's hope it's after everything goes well, if that is the case. I mean, you know what you're doing. I don't need to teach you to suck eggs, do I? That's just me talking. Just me. So we've got 7. I'm going to put 8 ducks in. I'm going to put 8. It's going to be a good 8 duck race. Is that a saying? A 4-horse race? Is that something? Oh, we've got some cool ducks. Right, hold on. You gotta like ducks. If you don't like these ducks, I don't know. I'm gonna be surprised. Antisocial, good evening, and good evening, Sarah. I didn't know you two were in the chat. Welcome. Excuse me for coughing. I do apologize again. So let's have a look at our ducks. We've got Bumblebee Duck. He's going to go flying like that all the way down to the finish. We've got Plain Duck, Policeman Duck, Plain Duck. Now, the Policeman Duck's going to try and keep an eye on the Plain Ducks because, like I say, they're sort of a gang culture. We've got Princess Duck stuck in the middle. So he's probably going to be escorting her. Like, I don't know. Or, I don't know. Let's not go into a policeman escort. Let's not. Right. We've got Rubber Duck. Or is he? No, he's Zorro. Oh, Zorro Duck, even better. What a legendary duck. And we've got Green Heart Duck. All absolutely awesome ducks. They train every day of the week for this. They have Sundays off once a month, but only for a cheap meal. Let's get these ducks going. And out in front at a minute is the Plain Ducks. Stay ganging up, holding that front line. Closely followed by Bumblebee Duck and Zorro Duck. Zorro Duck coming up aiming to come between, pushing out ahead of the plain duck gang. Now that plain duck gang sort of all kind of falling back together. They're probably planning something like Dastardly and Muttley sort of scenario. And Princess Duck is taking the lead. Can she hold it? Only time will tell. Still holding, but closely followed by number 2, number 3, 8, and 6. Go on, Princess. Last 30 seconds now. Right, so last 30 seconds, they all sort of drop back. They're going to hold at the very end of the thing, and then they're going to come flying up and see who, you know. It's all in this last 20 seconds. They're all bunching up. Here we go. This is the final stretch. And taken by number 4. Well done, number 4. That duck goes to heaven. Do all ducks go to heaven? I don't know if all ducks go to heaven. Apparently all dogs do. Good evening, 8 Legs. You're back. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you for coming back. That's very kind of you. Yeah, brilliant. Like, I'm just thinking we'll have another duck race slightly later on, and I'll do like a £5 voucher on my store or something as a prize. More than happy to do that. Right, antisocial. Small nuptial flight London way today, about 5. Nothing in Bristol yet. Today it also happened on Portland and Weymouth. Also in Plymouth, they've had theirs. And I am yet to check Exeter, but I expect Exeter's having theirs as well. So it will happen any day now. Keep checking, buddy. Keep checking. That is awesome. Like, I've been watching updates for the last all answers has had it 2 or 3 days. It's been going on now, and yeah, it will happen. It's just waiting for that perfect sweet moment. Waiting for the big one. Yeah, that's it. I mean, when it happens, and they're just everywhere. Had to shut your windows because all the ants were flying in. You should have just got some, Sarah. Don't shut the windows. Let them in. Let them like live in the house. Keep them warm and stuff. It'll be great fun. A ton of queens for 3 days in a row. That's awesome. Now, on island, I don't really get differences. I know a couple of Myrmica colonies actually, so I might go and have a look for them, just because it's fun, you know. Today in US, Missouri, and Kansas are all expecting nuptial flights. Even in America, Missouri and Kansas, I can't really think like map-wise where they are. I'm thinking fairly central, if not slightly lower central on the left-hand side, sort of towards Texas, but nowhere near that low. That's what I've got in my head. I'm not great on American geography state-wise. Down those, yeah. Now a couple of years ago, they actually did, yeah, middle. See, that wasn't too bad, was it? A couple of years ago, they had massive issues with flights, didn't they? They had to delay a lot of flights and cancel them because of the flying ants causing swarms. There was so many, and there is now. Right. So at the moment, I'm watching a seagull, and you know what that seagull's doing? He's eating flying ants. Now, I don't really like seagulls anyways. They are the annoying ones. Out of all the birds, they're the most annoying ones. I really don't like them eating ants. I can't watch it without being like, you know what I mean? It's quite a It's quite a weird one, like, but yeah, there's seagulls everywhere, and in fact, that's how I really knew that it was going on, because there was just seagulls going nuts for them, and people were posting about it all over Facebook, and I was like, oh yes, it's a brilliant day, because everyone just calls it Flying Ant Day. They don't really know what flying ants are. People think flying ants are a type of ant that appear on one day a year. Kind of. You're right, but they're not their own species. You know what I mean? So it's been quite funny. I've just been like, actually, Flying Ant Day is this, and everyone's been like, oh, actually, that's quite interesting. So it's been a cool way to connect with a few more locals, I'll say, which is nice. You know, you could see them on the weather news and big clouds. Yeah, I remember, it was so amazing. And but I might be wrong, but I feel like Portland got a few more species that year, just because I think they flew in from like the mainland, and we only really get Lasius here. But finding Mimica the year after that actually made me think maybe they flew over or got blown over or that sort of thing. I know they don't fly that far, but we're not actually that far from the mainland, where there is lots of Mimica colonies. They love the wet, sandy sort of areas that aren't too wet, but like we get sort of marshlands and stuff, and they're really they're loads, loads of them. Which, you know, as a ant keeper, is an exciting prospect. Now, who has seen about my mantis? I did. Yeah, I did a TikTok, tickety two. I'm too old for that. I did TikTok on it. So I could do that all night. Ticky, tick, tock, tocky, tick. But you know, I could do that all night. I did a TikTok on it. My mantis, after it molted a few days ago, I thought, TikTok. Yeah, I thought it looks really cool. So like it looks a bit bigger. Let's give it a go, see if he's hungry. I gave him a waxworm in my tweezers. That's the word I was looking for, in my tweezers. And it's the first time it took the waxworm out my tweezers. And it was so cool. And it was just like, cool. I just tweezer fed my mantis. That's not really something I get to do very often. I can tweezer feed my bullet ants, but at the risk of them coming up the tweezers, you know, I can feed a couple like that. But the mantis was really cool. And that was the first time I've been able to experience that with it. Really enjoyed that. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more of those types of feeds. I am trying to, I was going to say train, but you don't train them. I'm trying to get used to being handled quite a lot and being moved about into a new enclosure. I've got a separate enclosure that I'm going to be taking with me to the workshops that I do, so that I can put him in and transport him easily out of this large enclosure that kind of stays here, because it's got big doodads in it, branches and stuff. So just a simple enclosure that I'm going to take him out and about in. So I'm getting him used to like going from one to the other and walking on my hand. That he jumps really, like he'll jump from one hand to the other without me expecting it. I did not know they jumped that much. I knew they did jump, but I didn't know that they jump that much. It's kind of scary because I'm like holding it and like, I don't know if I need to sit down in case it jumps and doesn't land, you know what I mean? It is quite intimidating, and they're so fast as well. It's ridiculous. Like I'm open the enclosure and he'll come flying out before I've even seen where he is, and that's that. He's on my hand, and yeah, he's getting really like used to me enjoying my company, I think, which is nice. So yeah, it's been super cool to feed him like that, and he ate the whole waxworm as well. So like he's gonna be full for a couple of days, and then I'm probably gonna do it again. And yeah, so cool. They will eat till almost burst. Yeah, they eat loads, don't they? So I'm not gonna feed him anymore until obviously a couple of days. So what I was told basically is when they're like back end, I forget what it's called. Their back end is sort of flatter looking, they're hungry, and when it's big and bulging, they're fed. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I go off. I'm just going to read your comments. In my area, there are no Mimoca. We only get Niger and Flowers. See, I know someone that only gets Formica. Only Formica in that area. But I think he might send me a couple and I'll send him some Nigers or something. But we're going to chat about that later, I expect. Let's see. Mantis is cool. Thank you very much. I can't wait for him to get like bigger and blue. He's going to turn blue. How cool is that? I don't have many blue pets. It's not like a natural color found in nature very often, is it? Blue. Very cool, though. You should hand feed it. I possibly will. I possibly will. It's just such a weird concept for me. I just never do anything like that. You know what I mean? I tried to tweezer feed my scorpion a couple of times. He wasn't having none of it. Not at all. When I got my first mount, she spiked you. I didn't know they can actually do that. Wow. Oh well. If he does that to me, it'll be a shock, but we'll see. That is before. Oh yeah, hand feed the bullet ants. Yeah, see, I could. Maybe I'll do that during the next stream and show you. Because I can. It's just a bit like, oh my god, this is scary. I mean, I could probably stick a wax worm into this pile of ants right in front of me and they take it, but it's not really the same, is it? Whereas the bullet ants will actually physically take one out of your tweezers and then rip it to pieces. Hand-fed your man is so inquisitive. Yeah, they really are so inquisitive and really interesting as well. Like the way they move about and watch things and follow things. You can tell they're learning all the time. Really smart. My cup of tea's all gone. That's no good, is it? I need a new cup of tea. But luckily, I've got a can of Relentless. Hello, KB. Thanks for coming back, buddy. We will be going over the giveaway soon. Again, just to keep everyone informed. I've gone over it a few times, but I'll keep going over it a few times. Are bullet ants easy to keep? Like, my bullet ants aren't the proper bullet ants. Mine are the Asian bullet ants. Proper ants, I wouldn't recommend keeping. They're really difficult. These bullet ants, they're not too bad. In fact, since I set them up in their enclosure, they've been really easy. Obviously, it's heat controlled, temperature controlled, and the humidity is controlled by myself. Watering the plants, basically. If the plants and the soil start to look a bit dry, it needs watering again. But I try to water it every other day or every 2 or 3 days. I don't want to overwater it because it's, there's no point. They don't need massive amounts of humidity to thrive, but they do well at about 60 to 80% is what I found. Yes, thank you, Katrina Diacama. They are absolutely beautiful, stunning ants, aggressive, really interesting, right? So when they hunt, they hunt on their own as lone hunters, but as soon as they find that prey, they release a pheromone scent, and all the others come running. And within minutes, you've got they only go to about colonies of 200 as well, and they can't climb. Their climbing is awful. They'll get about halfway up the glass of my tank and fall back down. I mean, my plants go all the way up out of the tank, and I'm not worried at all. They cannot climb, so that's always a bonus. But yeah, they are really awesome ants to get. Just try not to get stung by them because it does hurt. Not as bad as the proper bullet ants, but it's still quite a pain, If you hand feed Monica, they won't bother with the food. They will just go for you. Yeah, they probably will. In fact, actually, you say that, but I've got a colony of Mimoca from, it's one of the original colonies from the channel, actually. And I can put my hand, or not, I can put my finger, my hand won't fit, I can put my finger in the enclosure and they don't sting me anymore. It's kind of like they're just not bothered by me. But I think they have become really tame. Now, they did have a massive diet at one point. They went back to 3 workers and 1 queen. And she has managed to do all right. She's, I'm still nursing them, we could say, but they're doing quite well. They've had a bit of time regenerating, and they've got workers again, so they're doing all right. Hey, all, to buy a camera. It's cool to see them swarm when they do. Yeah, you've got I can't pronounce it, harpin that trapdoors, and they hunt. Yeah, that would be really interesting to see them hunt. I've got the other ones I can't pronounce trapdoor wise, the omi do bidoo things, and they're absolutely awesome with their trapdoors thing. I think it's really cool. You can hear it click, 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 click. One interesting thing actually is I always try and feed that tank on tinfoil because I put in like a big cricket or something, and it's really high up. It's on my higher shelf in the ant corner. It's when I need to get it down, and bear in mind it weighs a ton. That's the one. Thank you very much, all ants. I am awful with my Latin words, you know that. So yeah, when we go get this tank down, it weighs a bloody ton, and it's up above my head height. I have no idea how we're gonna do it. Honestly, no idea how we're gonna do it. Like, and it's in the corner as well, so it's not even like you can get a good grip on it. You've literally just gotta like. Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be a nightmare, but it's there. Whatever. So yeah, that's my trapdoors, and they say I put their food on tinfoil. Now I'll be sat at the bottom of the anchor watching while my campanitis colonies or my Nicos. I'll tell you about my Nicos in a minute, and I'll hear like tinfoil being like rustled, and I look up. And then the food's gone, and there's just a piece of empty tinfoil like flapping in the wind, you know. It's like, okay, well, there they go. And I don't see a lot of them. Maybe one worker in the outworld at a time, two in the outworld. But if I put in a big old roach, they will come out in about 30, 40 workers and drag it back in super fast. But you always hear that little rustle with the tinfoil, and it's quite amusing. Yeah, ants and pets. Thank you for saying that. It's interesting the way they kind of get used to your presence. I mean, they must learn to associate you with feeding time. They get your scent every time you're feeding. I believe Ants Canada even said something like that at one stage, that like they get used to your presence there, and they get super excited when they smell you because they expect food to be coming. Yours are a little different to mine because they won't stop trying to escape and kill you. Yeah, okay, that's quite different. But mine are just super chilled. I don't know. That's 2 times 2 aces and 1 flag. Let's put away. Nice, Katrina. Happy days. Do you mean 2 times 2 Queen Lacius Nigers? You can do that, but they will. When the workers come, they will kill off one of the queens. You will be left with just queen in that test tube colony, I'm afraid. But you can do it to sort of like brood boost, if you know what I mean. Now, Flavus, they will accept multiple queens. Oh, you finally got Polyrachus. Awesome. What's your setup like? Tell me all about it. If you need any help, send me a message on any of my social medias where I am, and I will obviously get back to you as fast as I can. But really awesome. I can't wait to see them grow. Like, this obviously he's doing super well at the minute. I could show you the nest. It's sort of great. I think they might be like building again. It's just ridiculous amount of nest size. They just pretty much made a beetle fall. Like, there was a beetle on the stick, and I think they bit him, and he just fell off the stick. That was quite funny. Yeah, I can understand that being annoying. Are you in the Wakushi Weaver Outworld? Send me a picture over Facebook or Discord or something like that. Send me a picture. All right, awesome. I love seeing Polyrachus dives, or any Polyrachus. Hey, Polyrachus, sorry, you're just come out of nowhere. That was really weird, just out of nowhere. Wow. So anyway, I'm going to tell you about my Nicos. So I've got a colony of Nicos, as I think I told you. I think I even showed it on my channel. I can't remember. But I didn't feel they were really thriving. Now, looking back in hindsight, they kind of were a bit. they weren't like massively active. Now I know Nikos aren't massively active when they're a smaller colony. They are much more active in larger colony stage, which is fine. They camp a notice at the end of the day. But I don't know. I didn't think. I will go through the giveaway in just a second, David. Thanks for joining. I didn't think that they were really thriving because I could only see one or two coming out to feed at a time. Good evening, Ants Hood. Thanks for joining, buddy. And you're the perfect person to talk to about Nikos. I'll just talk about my Nikos. Like I say, they're only a small colony, about 30 or so workers, and 2 majors, I believe. And I kind of thought they weren't. I know they don't at that stage. They're not massively active, but I thought they weren't active. They weren't enjoying themselves. They needed enrichment. That's the best way to put it. So now they're living in a large Ants Canada ant tower in a natural sort of setup that they can dig and all of that malarkey. And they seem to be doing really well. They've dug themselves into a nice deep chamber. In fact, they disappeared from sight, but I can see them coming up through the tunnels. They're really cool. And they are coming out to feed regularly now. And I don't know, there was just something about the setup. It was a very basic setup that I had them in. And maybe it was just the wrong environment for them. They just weren't enjoying it. Now they've got sort of stuff to climb on and walk over and whatnot. They seem to be doing really well. And good interactions with isopods as well. Because I wasn't sure how that was going to go just because of the size of Nikos is, well, it's sort of similar to Polyrhacus dives. I just didn't know how Nikos were going to do with the isopods. Now, that setup was all the way back from my Manica rubida, which actually died out. So I cleaned it up a little bit, replanted everything, and it's a great little setup. So I'll quickly go over the giveaway again. Simple as this. All you got to do is buy a ticket to the Great Ant Exhibition, and you'll be instantly entered into a draw that we're going to do on the 1st of August for a £25 voucher on the Ants on the Rock store. Simple as that. I think that's all I need to say. There might be more prizes added, like 2 or 3 winners. But yeah, it's as easy as that. You buy your ticket. The tickets are £15 on the Ants on the Rock website. You can follow the link. The Ant exhibition is in Bristol on the 27th of August at Fairfield High School in the sports hall. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Ants and Pets, I know that really sucks, but I really wish you could come over because that would be awesome. You would be more than welcome, you know what I mean? I come give you a big hug. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. Like all the details are on my website. Not all the details. There's like 90% of the details or 80% of the details. I'm still confirming the last few vendors and speakers and things like that. And I'll be doing the last final update at the same time as I call the winners for this giveaway on the 1st of August. So, like I say, simple as that. Buy a ticket. Use the code that's coming across the screen on the banner when it scrolls across. It's Summer11 133. Use it exactly how it's written. Do that as you're paying, and it will get £5 off every ticket that you're buying. Under 13s is completely free, so bring your family along. There is vendors and stalls there to cater for the younger ones. There's also face painting and things like that. So if they want to look like a ladybug or an ant or something like that, I'm sure that's all doable because we've been talking to them that's sort of the theme. There's going to be food vendors there, obviously loads of ant stuff, ant vendors, other vendors, terrarium vendors. We're having bioactive demonstrations. We've got tons of exhibits. We've got guest speakers giving lectures and stuff going on all over the room. So much I can't even remember to go through it all now. But like I said, loads of detail on my website. You can click on there's a banner on the main page. You click straight on that, and it was pretty much all on there. You can also find the event on Facebook and pretty much anywhere that I've been able to put it. There's posters in Bristol. You might have seen posters scattered about in the pet shops in Bristol and a few other places in Bristol, on the events pages and things like that. So that is the giveaway that I am currently running. Like I say, we might. Oh, you can't make it. That really does suck. We kind of thought that though, didn't we? We were waiting to see. That really does suck, but you're going to have to definitely come to one of the next ones. Now, we are already looking at the next event. I'm not going to give anything away right now, nothing at all. So you're going to have to wait, which is really hard for me to do. As you know, I love telling you all good news, but I'm just going to tell you we are already working on the next 2 events because we're having 2 next year. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, definitely. If you can make the next one. Yeah, I always forget. Whereabouts are you located? Obviously, you can message me on my messenger or something. You don't have to say that on stream if you don't want to. But I always forget whereabouts in the country are. I feel towards the middle. But to be honest, my geography when you go for the north, it kind of everything's just further north to me. I'm not going to go into details, but one of the events will be at the same sort of Bristol area, same sort of level of the country, we can say. And then the other event is going to be up north because we need to hit up north. There's so many people missing out, so many great stores missing out that I've already been talking to and getting great interest in these next events that I'm putting together. So, like I said, if Lancaster, that's sort of in the middle, isn't it? As far as I know, kind of. I'm not very good with geography, but yes. So the next one will be the northern one, and then the one after that will be the one down here again. So there will be great opportunity for hopefully everyone to come to an event in the future. And that actually reminds me, I did say I'm going to be at some free events in Dorset. If anyone comes along to Dorset, I think we might even hit Somerset at some point. But if anyone comes along to Dorset, you're more than welcome to give me a message, find out as where we're going to be and when, because you might be able to come see us at one of the free events that we're going to be at. We've got loads of events lined up in our calendar now. Loads. It's really exciting, actually, really exciting. And we've got the banners and stuff have they're all arrived, and it's all looking like proper professional. Now, for me, that's a big deal because, as you know, I really struggle to make things look professional. I always say it's a quit, you know what I mean? But that's just me. I've always struggled to put things down on paper. My brain goes faster than my hands. But yeah, I put the job together well in the end, but it written down in front of me is almost impossible. As close as you can get in the middle. Yeah, that's what I thought, sort of towards the middle. But so you're like, I don't know. Maybe the northern one would be better. I don't know. Come to both. Definitely. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, there's invert shows all over the country, anti-social. I've been in contact with a few of them, but I don't want to take away from what we've got. We've got our own, what's the sort of word? Own brand. that's the word for it, I suppose. We're doing Ant Exhibition UK. All of the next exhibitions will be under that title. We're doing Ant Exhibition UK up north, or whatever it will be called, but it will be Ant Exhibition UK from now on. Obviously, this is the Great Ant Exhibition because it's the first one. And as time goes on, obviously, we'll have more ant stuff turning up, and it's going to be even more awesome. Just looking through my things to talk about. I've got something written down about sheep, but I can't remember what I was going to talk to you about sheep. That's quite a random one, isn't it? Oh no, I remember. I remember. Right, so I told you we went out earlier. Went for a nice walk around the island. It was absolutely lovely, absolutely boiling, and we didn't take anywhere near enough water. Good evening, creepy critters. Thanks for joining. Uh, so it was great. It was a lovely time. Now we saw some sheep. Well, at least my wife thought they were sheep, and they were only about 2 or 3 feet in front of us. Turns out they were just dogs. But they were really, really fluffy dogs. I will give her that. But they're not sheep, darling. We went past the farm. Now, there's a farm on Portland that has all sorts of weird animals and stuff. Not weird animals, but farmyard animals and a few other things. The idea was we were our day up there, but they were actually shut because they had a music festival over the weekend, which is a little bit weird for a farm to have a music festival, like a petting farm, you could say, petting zoo farm. But whatever floats their boat. So they're closed to pan, and they've got mini kangaroos. Now, I say mini kangaroos, they're obviously wallabies. I'm not stupid, but to my kids, they are mini kangaroos. And to my youngest daughter, like that really puts a smile on my face. You know, you talk much, you can't do a lot, but sitting in a chair looking at these kangaroos, to her, that's a kangaroo, you know. Yeah, it was lovely. And it's really cool to see like wallabies, and like even today was too hot for them. Now, I'm not sure where wallabies is to. I'd like to think Australia, but that's because kangaroos come from Australia. You're probably going to tell me New Zealand or something like that. But I actually don't know where wallabies come from in the world. But it was too hot for them today. They were all sitting in the shade. Bless them. It was very hot. Who else is sunburnt? Rita, do I live in Ireland? No, I live on a little island. No, I live. Look it up. It's absolutely stunning. We're part of the Jurassic Coast, so we've got Chesil Beach, which is I think the longest man-made stone embankment beach or something like that, but world-class fishing on Chesil Beach. And then on the other side, we've got the Jurassic Coast, which has hundreds of thousands of fossils all over it, and they find like a huge majority of our fossilized creatures from there. You can see like all the different levels of time, I think is the right word. It's really cool, really interesting. Great history on Portland as well. It's been inhabited since the Neanderthal age. You can go up and see Stone Age sort of dwellings and things like that. They've done excavations. It's really interesting, and you can see how the islands developed as well. We were shut off at one point completely from the mainland, and it was like pirate kingdom. They've had lords like rule over the thing, and we're actually one of the a few places now. I forget what it is, but we have like our own sort of council of governors and stuff, and I forget what it is, but it's very specific, and they have like, a lot of power, um, which is quite interesting. And they pass about a key or some, I don't know, but really cool, interesting stuff in Portland. We've got the ghost tunnels and lots of prisons, lots of quarries. It's supposed to be really, really haunted. We've got some of the best views in the country, I would say. To be completely honest, just because the way we strut out, we can look back on the rest of the country and it's beautiful. What Hellwell Beach on Radio 4 a couple of days ago. I'll have a look at that. Bailiff like Guernsey. But hang on. I'm gonna have to look it up. Portland. Uh, oh, jeez. Right, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Oh well, apparently the causeway is 4 miles long. So I'm 4 miles off the mainland. Did I tell you we're not allowed to say the word rabbit because back in the day when they were making all the quarries, um, the rabbits actually caused multiple deaths, and they don't like you saying rabbits over here anymore. You can say bunny, but they don't like rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. I shouldn't really do that. It is quite offensive to the older generation. I mean, people my age don't really care, but the older generation can still get quite offended by it. Affected or offended? I don't know which is the better word. Um, I can't find it at the moment, but there's something weird about the keys and stuff like that, and one they have one marriage thing that they have to pass between all the churches if they're going to get married. I don't know, but it's really interesting. Portland, they got signs saying keep Portland weird and whatnot because it is just a weird place. It was like I said, it was cut off at one point, and we're past 10 o'clock now, so I can say it. There was inbreeding on the island. Lots of families with the same last names. Like you could walk down a street and only like a street of 50 houses and only pass 3 different names. And yeah, so there was lots of inbreeding, and they think that some people had webbed feet and stuff like that. And yeah, so it was. And if you kind of came to Portland from the mainland, you were like looked at weirdly. And lots of people on the island have never left. They've never gone on to the mainland. And we're literally 4 miles on a road. But yes, that's Portland for you. It's really weird, but I advise anyone in Dorset to come check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you haven't got that opportunity, give it a little looky look on Google, because Google's really good at that. It's really nice, like I say, stunning location. Check out my TikTok videos of the scenery as well. Beautiful. I'm just looking back at my notes from last stream. Actually, last stream, I really enjoyed it. Now I know a few of you were here for that one. If you weren't here for that stream, go back and watch it. The actual chatting starts at about 45 minutes past. The guy I interviewed, Steve, what a legend, what a nice guy, and what work he is doing over there. A snake catcher in South Africa, and he's doing loads of educating work, saving lives, and like absolutely amazing. So yeah, I was just looking back at that. I really enjoyed that stream, and he's a really nice guy. Like we've been chatting loads since. Sounds like some of the villages around here. 6 toes and webbed fingers. Yeah, I think to be honest, everywhere sort of has that. Oh, don't go over there. They're all inbred. You know, there's always that thing, isn't there? And that's mainly the mainlanders saying that about Portland. Portlanders don't really say that about themselves, although I think it was proved at some point. But like they had a lord. Now I can't work out the location of where his like manor house castle or whatever was, but he built a bath on the side of a cliff that he would fill with like he'd have servants carry hot water up the side of the cliff, and he'd go up there completely nude and sit in this bath, which was overlooking his workforce in the quarry. How cool is that? I haven't been able to work out what it is because like all the houses around here are like officers' lodge and Mason's building and this and that. Yeah, the prisons around here. My God! So we went and cleaned the windows inside the prison a while back. I don't know if most of you have heard that. Horrible. Just having that gate slam behind you. No, thank you. It is like the most. You know what I mean? It makes you shudder. That chills down your spine. You're like, oh, kaboom, as you like go, and everything goes dark for a second before like you see the next bit of light. And yeah, not a nice feeling. Even going in there to clean the windows. One of the 2 prisons is an old fort, actually. I heard, literally right out of the window I am looking at right now. I can see the entrance to it. It is, I believe it was a star fortress sort of thing built in the 1600s and then slowly developed over time into the fort that it is. Now, it was used as a fort in the Second World War, but as most of that time as a prison camp of some description. They used a lot of the prison for prison labour to cut away the stone for the quarries, actually. And then there was a train track which ran round the face of the prison, which came down pretty much next to my house, down towards the bottom of the island, where they would ship it off to wherever it's going. I think the White House was built out of Portland stone, and quite a few other really famous buildings, actually. No fort is actually a fort in Weymouth at the Nose Gardens. It overlooks the entrance to Weymouth Harbour and also Portland Harbour on the other side. It's, again, a really interesting place to know, but not so long history. Now, no fort was there before the British Civil War with Oliver Cromwell, because it was taken over, I think, 2 or 3 times by opposing forces. It changed hands quite a few times. And there's actually a cannonball lodged in the wall in Weymouth. I believe the cannonball now is a replacement. They took out the original, or it fell out. But a cannonball was lodged in a wall shot from the castle, because at one point Weymouth is separated by a river, obviously the River Wey. On one side was Royalist and on the other side was Cavalier, and the bridge was destroyed and burnt several times, and there was lots of fighting. Where I used to live, Chapelay, used to be, I think it was 70 very steep stone steps, and that was where the Roundheads ran up before they were all massacred, basically. There was a massive massacre down there. But yeah, really interesting Civil War history in Weymouth. Obviously, it's quite a old town, and it's changed a lot over the time. The harbour area's developed a lot. We used to have what was called the Black Hole, I believe, in the Brewers Quay area. Now, the Black Hole area was basically just a swamp, but it was just full of. When they filled it in, they found so many dead bodies. They just left it in the end and filled it in. Didn't have time to deal with it all. And then actually where the pavilion is, that also used to be sort of a swampy area from what I know. And again, that was a dumping ground for all sorts of rubbish. But that whole area has been redeveloped into, concrete and whatnot. In fact, the Park District was completely swamps until about 1870, 1900, about that time, when they redeveloped for the train station. Right, next time I bring the kids. Yeah, I love things like this. I just get so into history and anything like that. You know what I mean? I think it's so interesting. It's not even like I have to learn it. I think it's so interesting. I just pick it up. There is meant to be hidden gold, and I pretty much, like, I can show you where it's supposed to be. Obviously, no one knows if it's there. No one can dig there. It's protected. No. But back during the Civil War, the monks in Chapelay, now obviously called Chapel Hay because there was a chapel, they took all the gold and everything that was inside of the chapel whilst it was being taken over by the parliamentarians, I believe. And they went and hid it. And then they were all killed, and no one's been able to find the gold from this chapel. So there is hidden gold somewhere. And they have found many old tunnels and smugglers' tunnels and things like that throughout Weymouth. Really interesting stuff. Love walking around castles. Yeah, Hood, I was talking about it earlier. We went walking around. We went to Pennsylvania Castle today. We went to Rufus Castle today, which is the newer and the older castles on Portland. We've even got a castle down the bottom of Portland, which is about 2 or 3 minutes walk from us. It is really great. We got so burnt, but we had a really great time going around these castles. We've never actually, although we've lived on Portland for about 6 years now, we've never walked around those areas. Now, I tell you why, and I said it earlier. Someone, Yeah, good night, Resaf. Sorry if I missed that. Yeah, I tell you why it's hard to get over there, because the paths, I said it earlier, are so thin and they're on the cliff's edge. And obviously, we've got our youngest daughter in a wheelchair, and it is really difficult and slightly dangerous. And at one point, there's about 100 steps that you have to walk up. We had to take her out of her chair several times today. Luckily, she can walk, she is mobile, but it's much safer for her and everyone else if she's in a chair. She has no sense of danger or anything. If she gets away from you, she'll run straight into a road, into a car, into a burning house, whatever. It's not worth the risk. So she goes in her wheelchair. But the 100 odd steps we had to carry her up, and she wanted. We came out of a path about halfway up. We started going up. She wanted to go down, and it was just the hardest wrestle of my life. Even I was struggling to keep hold of her, and you know what I mean. I don't want to hurt her or squeeze, but you've got to obviously restrain her a little bit, which isn't fun. So yeah, we hadn't really done that before, and then it took so long to get back. We actually walked for about 5.5 to 6 hours today. For my kids, that's a lot of walking. Bless them, but it's only good bit of exercise, nice bit of sunshine, and it gets them out learning about different things. We went to there's medieval. I don't know if they're medieval or 18th century. I didn't. The plaques were all torn off, and you couldn't read a thing about it, which is a real shame. And I can't remember my history, to be honest. But there's some old windmills at the top of Portland. They've been sort of cleaned up, we could say, filled with cans. They've been cleared up now, and you can stand outside, but not go inside, but you can stand outside and have a look. And we went there and had a pit, run about, and then we went on Rain Castle through the pirates. They have pirate graves, apparently, victims, but they do have smuggled graves as well, and stuff for their deeds. Which ties in with daughters learn at school. We learned about smugglers, so it worked really well. And from there, we went to Rufus Castle, Church Oak Cove, then all the way around the South Walk, which we didn't have a clue where we were going. And it's all past like the old quarries. I say old quarries, they're still active. But like my wife, she was wearing sandals. Okay. Now, chalk quarries and sandals, her feet were literally white when we got home. It was brilliant. And her sandals are white and my shoes are white. So yeah, we worked our way back to the bottom of the Grove prison, which is on the top on the other side. I think it was the young offenders, possibly. I think. And we went and sat in the gardens and sort of cooled down in the shade there, and we walked on home. But walking home, we walked along the front of the other prison, the Fort prison. So we went prison to prison several times today. It was a long walk, but it was beautiful, and we took in a lot of scenery and history that we haven't had the opportunity to do. I've sort of walked around a few of those areas before on my own and cycled through a couple of the fields before, but I've never had the opportunity to go up and enjoy it, And it makes a difference. And I thought taking a picnic up there, I've been planning it for, I don't know, I've been planning it for probably 2 months, but every time I want to do it, they're like, we want to do this today, or we have this plan. It's like, okay, we just won't do it yet. And that's fine. I put it off. Then we decided to go on one of the hottest days and not take anywhere near enough water with us. But that's a learning process, isn't it? It's all a learning curve process. I don't know. So I'm just reading back through the comments, making sure I haven't missed anything. Has anyone got any questions about the exhibition? Whilst we have 9 people in the chat, someone might have some questions. I'm not sure. Or questions about anything, really. If not, I'll just carry on waffling. You know, I can do that. Did anyone else, right? Did anyone else kind of. I said about the seagulls around here. I knew the ants were flying because of the seagulls. Did anyone else get that sort of cue? Does, like, living further inland, do you get that with, like, sparrows and stuff? 'Cause I just don't know. I haven't lived inland, like, since I've really been into ants. I've lived near. Well, I've lived in Weymouth and then Portland. I've never really noticed it as a kid, you know what I mean? Living in Devon in the middle of Dartmoor, you're kind of taking the sheep and the horses a bit more than the ants. No, you can just see the queens everywhere. Fair enough, Hood. See, down here, there's seagulls literally going nuts everywhere. There's obviously queens everywhere, but there's just like I definitely don't like seagulls anymore because like watching them, I'm just like, girl, leave them alone, leave the queens alone. But that's just me as an ant keeper. It's nature at the end of the day. You can't stop them from eating. You're not going to affect it. I mean, there's so many queens everywhere. Like, I'm sure the seagulls eating a few isn't going to affect it massively. My daughter really enjoyed going out and catching those queens earlier. Really great fun for her. It's definitely if you've got the opportunity, I definitely say take the kids to catch an ant. Why not? Even if you release it when they've got like 10 workers or something, I don't know. But just the experience of going out, catching an ant, learning a bit about it. Yeah, great fun. Highly recommendable to anybody. I'm going to cough, so I'm just going to mute a second. It's that time of night again when my chest starts to shut down. So yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. I was going. Oh, I'm going to cough again. I was supposed to be bringing the Nikos to the exhibition. I don't know if I'll be able to do that now. They're in a natural formicarium, digging their own tunnels. I think it's just a little bit risky, if you know what I mean. We'll see. We will see. But I'm not up for taking risks with my aunts. Not for viewing pleasure. It's just not something I do. All the colonies I'm bringing to the exhibition, I've deliberately kept in environments that I'll be able to bring to the exhibition. Some of them I've kept in test tubes and they're going to be put into brand new environment, like enclosures at the exhibition just as we open the doors. So literally they're coming out to explore, eat and all of that lot right at the time that they're, you're coming in. I've got Formica, I'm taking my Monomorium, and I was going to take my Nikos and a couple of other smaller um, setups, maybe some Mimikaruba and things like that. But I'm not really bringing that many big enclosures. I've got so much going in the back of my van. Bear in mind, there's also three of us. It's not even my van, I say that. I've got my mate, one of my staff is going to be driving us there. Um, he's going to be filling the back of his van, basically. We've got so much to take with us. I'm not going to be bringing anything massive. I do have other people that are bringing exhibits for it. So don't worry about that. The exhibits are going to be absolutely awesome. Heard you're not going to be there, but don't worry, you don't have to miss out. It's all going to be streamed live, and I'm going to be walking around, like showing off the exhibits and things like that. And obviously, there's going to be loads of videos. If you've heard of Predatory Exotics, they're coming to film a video at the show. It's going to be absolutely awesome meeting them as well because I've watched their channel for a long, long time. Yeah, so like I say, long time, and it's gonna be. I think they're doing a video about the exhibition in the next week or so as well. But they're gonna be at the exhibition, actually filming, going around. So there's not just my rubbish filming, actually gonna be decent content coming out from just them. And obviously, there's other content creators coming. KB's gonna be there, and we've got a few more. I'm not gonna read through the list right now. Mainly because I'm coughing. England, but still get mad goals. Okay, fair enough. Um, but yeah, so we've got lots of exhibits going to be there. Sorry, but yeah, I'm not taking anything large. The bioactive display, like I'm not doing the bioactive display. Someone, Leon, Leon is absolutely amazing. Leon Underwood, his bioactive environments that he puts together, they're very different to what I do, and like his knowledge, like is he's got a lot of experience, like just different stuff. So like I said, I've got the enclosure and the budget for whatever he basically wants, and I'll be bringing that along. So that's gonna be great fun. I've got to, like I say, I've got a lot of stuff that I need to bring, all the banners, all the big posters, the frames and boards, and so on and so forth. They love to poop on people for food. Yeah, answer heard right. So seagulls are a nightmare. Round here, they attack you. They'll dive bomb you for your food. They'll dive bomb you for walking down the road, and then they'll poo on you as they run away or fly away. And they're really violent to each other as well. Yeah, honestly, seagulls are like the rats of the sky. They say they're like the pigeons are the rats of the sky. It's really not. Seagulls are awful. They're not very nice. They will attack you, and they're large birds as well. It's like if they come at you, they really can come at you. Thank you thank you very much, Sarah. Good night. You see pigeons, yeah, that's not surprising. If they see another bird with food, my God, they will tear it to pieces. And they tear each other to pieces. You often see seagulls walking about with like one leg and stuff like that. And yeah, they are pretty brutal for birds. But the bird world is pretty brutal. Have you seen eagles? Like eagles tear shit up. I don't swear often on my streams. There you go. Yeah, they tear it up. Eagles are awesome, and owls, birds of prey are pretty brutal. They're large. What's that really big owl? I always forget what it's called, but it's like half a person or something, or nearly the size of a really big owl. I don't know, but the bird world is awesome. But I just don't particularly like seagulls. It's not one that I would recommend keeping. If you want a bird as a pet, don't get a seagull. I used to actually have loads of birds as pets, budgies, parrots. We had African greys, cockatoos, cockatiels, quails, lovebirds, parakeets, all sorts of stuff. Good night, Answered. Thank you very much for signing in, buddy. We always like to speak to you. What was I saying? Yeah, parakeets, and we had all sorts of birds. But to be honest, it kind of put me off keeping them because I've they just get annoying with they learn to talk to each other. You teach one to talk and he'll teach the rest, and then they chat all night long. If one of them's not like one of them's always awake, you know what I mean, and they don't even have to be chatting to each other, they will chat to themselves. And I think our African grey parrot actually lived inside the house at the time, learned the A Team theme tune from whistling because my stepdad would whistle the theme tune all the time. And like, so we, if he wasn't whistling it, the bloody parrot was. Oh, it was great fun. Great fun. I think we'll probably call it a night before too long. So if you've got anything else you want to ask me, talk about anything at all, just put a little comment in. We were going to have another giveaway tonight, or a £5 giveaway, but we've got 3 people in the chat right now, so I don't think we'll do that. We'll do it in the next stream. Come back for the next stream on Wednesday, and we will definitely do a £5 to £10 giveaway on a duck race. Why not? I think the chat's gone fairly quiet, which is fine. We've got lots of stuff covered in this episode, and it's been a great bit of fun. Thank you all massively for joining, coming back for another episode of just me chatting. But sometimes it's good fun to chat. We have got more interviews lined up for this coming month, and obviously August is going to be amazing. We're going to be doing a live stream on the 27th of August, and we're going to be doing one of these chat shows at the event as well. So we will be doing interviews and meeting people at the event. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Katrina, you're still here. Thank you. Yes, it's going to be great fun. We're going to be doing all of that lot. So we have got quite a few interviews lined up. Do not worry about that. But obviously at the moment, it's just me chatting, which is great. I like it. I've always got lots to talk about. Just moving my microphone. So I'm just going to say again, a massive thank you to everyone who does sign into these streams. I thoroughly appreciate it. I'm rubbish with my words, as you know, but I do really appreciate all the views, shares, likes, whatever, everything. Oh, that's something we can say. My subscriber count is finally rising now. It is going up and up and up, and yeah, it's going to be good. We're getting lots of new subscribers at the moment, which is good. Very happy with that. So if you haven't yet, hit that button and do us that bit of help, whatever the word for that is. Help us out in that way, yeah. That makes sense. Hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, whatever it is, and give this stream a like on whatever platform you are on as well. So I'm going to say a massive thank you to our Patreon supporters, Katrina, Stacey, and Jason. You're all absolutely spectacular for continuing to support me. And a massive thank you to Answer Us, our show sponsor. If you can't find what you want with me, go to Answer Us first, because he's absolutely brilliant. He sponsors this show. He's sponsoring the event. Without him, it wouldn't be happening in the first place. So a massive thank you to Answer Us. And of course, a massive thank you to all the viewers for being amazing on all the different platforms, here now and in the future. Love you all. Definitely come back for another stream. Give me a message if you want me. I'm on all the different platforms, you know the ones, pretty much everywhere. Separated all the queens. Well done, Katrina. Good stuff. I say you can keep them together. It just kind of works as a brood boost. You end up with, instead of 10 workers as your nanitics, you end up with 20 to 30 workers as nanitics. And then they'll kill the queen, but you've got that sort of head start. You know what I mean? It can be done, but it's not advisable if you want to keep them. But if you get multiple Flavus, put them in that queen with that other Flavus, because until the workers arrive, the queens basically won't fight. You could just add another queen. Not too late. I wouldn't leave it too late, but they will generally go in easily together. And then once the workers arrive, that's when you kind of can't do that anymore. So yes, there we go. That is tonight's show. Thank you all for signing in, being amazing, and joining me again. As always for me, I'll see you again soon. Thank you and good night.